All right, Miles, let's talk Los Angeles Rams. Like now that the draft is about a week away now, we always like to take a time and look back at a team's draft picks, and the Rams sure had a lot of them. And we always like to find what a team did well and if they were able to uncover any hidden gems. And we've got a reporting out that details exactly a really quality, I would argue, an elite player that the Rams got at an absolute premium time in the draft. I think they actually pulled off one of the bigger moves of the 2023 draft.
Yeah, Nick, this guy is a high quality athlete with an even higher quality pedigree. Really love this pick for the Rams. And you said they had a lot of picks. They did. I counted because I said, wow, they had like 14 picks in this draft. So that was very interesting as well. But, I want to ask the fans of all of those picks. There's a ton of choices here. Who's your favorite? So you got to pick one. Who's your favorite pick that the Rams made in the draft? Let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are. But Nick, I'd also want everyone to stay tuned for a message from the partner of today's video, Neuro. They have a product that gives you a quick and easy boost of energy. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of today's video to learn more about Neuro and get a special discount code for our listeners. But nonetheless, Nick, what is going on with the Rams?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be very long before Rams fans will say this guy was their favorite pick of the draft. I think he's that good. If you want to go ahead and throw up the report, Mize, I'll read from it. This is from Rams Wire as part of USA Today. The Los Angeles Rams hope they got a steal in the sixth round when they drafted TCU cornerback Travius Hodges-Tomlinson at number 182 overall. The Jim Thorpe Award winner was the nation's top defensive back last season, proving his smaller stature wasn't a hindrance in the secondary. At 5'8" and 178 pounds, he's not the biggest cornerback, but he simply makes plays and doesn't allow very many completions in coverage. Only 28 on 81 targets last season, actually. That's scary good, by the way. Before you do the rest of the report, 28 out of 81, that is ridiculously good. Touchdown Wire's Doug Farrar was high on Hodges-Tomlinson before the draft, ranking him as the number 8 corner in the class. That was ahead of Emmanuel Forbes, who went 16th overall to the Commanders, as well as Khalil Ringo and Julius Brents, two other corners who went well before Hodges-Tomlinson. Miles, we talk about on the show all the time what I've started to come around to calling the Orlando Brown syndrome. So Orlando Brown, for Rams fans who aren't familiar, he was a guy out of Oklahoma, was a left tackle who was arguably the best left tackle in the country, always did a fantastic job, was a great tackle for the Oklahoma Sooners, high-flying offense, made the block 100% of the time, was an outstanding football player. But for a number of reasons, it didn't look great at the combine. His 40 wasn't right. His body type didn't fit exactly what NFL scouts were looking for. He fell to the very end of the first round. He should have been like a top 5 pick, right? He was that good of a tackle in college. Instead, he fell in the draft. The Ravens picked him up, and he's been an all-pro player ever since. Because sometimes the scouts really seem to screw it up. They lose sight of the guys that are really good football players, and they fall in the draft. Hodges-Tomlinson won the Jim Thorpe Award last season. He was the best defensive back in all of college football. He was a first-team All-American. He's a 2-year starter at TCU, Big 12, big-time competition. Great pedigree. Obviously, he's the nephew of LaDainian Tomlinson, the great running back. He's got great skill set in terms of athletic tools. He runs a 4.4, 140. He's got a 1.510, 39-inch vertical jump, 11-inch broad jump. Phenomenal athlete. No matter how you look at this guy, he checks every box, except he's a little on the shorter side. I could have seen him falling into the second round or the third round, but the Rams, to get this guy in the sixth round, I think is probably the steal of the draft. I think this guy is a day one starter, or at least contributor for the Rams. I think it won't take very long for Rams fans to really fall in love with this guy. Miles, what do you think of this pick? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, Nick, the guy's crazy good. And I love you brought up the point that I was really liking is, great, probably second best Tomlinson ever to go to TCU. So, I mean, hey, nephew of LaDainian Tomlinson, if he has even half the talent that that guy had, he is going to be incredible. This guy, just in all of the scouting reports you read about him, all the tape you watch, he's just very twitchy, really quick movements, very efficient mover at the cornerback spot. He's very good at breaking on the ball. He routinely beats the wide receivers to the spot the ball is going to be at. So in the NFL, that's going to be really good. And then he has great hips. Everyone loves a corner with some great hips. So he doesn't lose any transition when he has to turn downfield, pick up speed to catch a guy. So hips don't lie, Nick. Seems like a really, really solid pick for me overall. But that's the thing. I think the thing that people look at is, and that's a perfect comparison, not only by Orlando Brown's dad also being an NFL player, this guy's uncle being a great NFL player, but they look at some arbitrary numbers like, oh, he's 5'8". Like, oh, he's too short, maybe, or, he doesn't have great press man coverage for arms, or maybe he's, not the heaviest guy in the world, is like 175 pounds, but he is so good at football. Like you said, he seems to be an extremely good athlete, and people lose that. And then the Rams capitalize on that, able to pick him up in the sixth round. That's absolute steal. So Rams masterclass here again, showing they know exactly what they're doing when it comes to picks.
And look, it's not just us, right? We always like to take a lot of second opinions to make sure we're not on an island because we get it wrong like anybody else. According to Pro Football Focus, this guy, Sam Monson over at Pro Football Focus, he's a big draft guy. He thinks this guy is the steal of the draft. The Rams picking it up. He thought he was a great player as well. And if you look at NFL.com's draft profile of this guy, it reads like a first round pick. If you look at the bullet points that go down his profile, one by one here, you go one of the more explosive athletes in the draft, but he was available in the 6th round. Twitchy, agile, and voracious competitor in coverage. Sounds like a starter to me. Allowed 34.6% completion rate when targeted in 2022. That sounds like a first-round pick. Sudden feet allow him to slide and shade the release, can smother short and immediate stop routes, and rockets forward to attack catch point with closing burst. Guy sounds like a first-round pick, and just to finish it off, scrappy tackler stepping downhill and run support. So he plays the run well as well. I mean, it's no matter how you look at it, this guy looks like a first, second-round pick on the tape. He obviously has the pedigree, has good measurables outside of his height. This guy's just a really darn good football player, and I think the Rams are really going to like this guy. I think this is an awesome job by Snead and company picking this guy up and bringing him into the fold. All right, Miles, we would like to give a special thanks to our partner in today's video, Neuro.
That's right, Nick. And I want you to go with me on a journey really fast. I want you to imagine this. It's 4th and goal in the big game, Nick. Your team is relying on you to make the big-time game-winning play. I know you've been in this situation before, Nick. The stadium is roaring. The clock is ticking. The game is on the line. But if only in that moment you were able to have some Neuro gum. Neuro gum will help you stay concentrated, and it gives you a burst of energy without a nasty crash.
That's right, Miles. Neuro has thoughtfully curated ingredients and does endless lab testing, which means that you can reach the right state of mind safely and consistently. That's the most important part. It gives you a clean burst of energy and focus without the jitters of coffee or any of those other energy drinks.
That's right, Nick. And if you click our sponsor link in the description below, you can enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it.